total adjustment already at this era. This is blessing beyond vows, because everything is everything in its nature, as it already is. Just align with it. It's not a new thing. It's the true origin as it already is. The habits of the vows in aiming towards blessing the beings, always dropping with the beings, and then crashing with the beings, always crashing first. Everything. There is no need to try to let go or not letting go. There is no need to try to attach or not attach, liberate or not liberate, all the same with everything. There is no need to try to liberate or not liberate, all the same. There is no need to try to be Nibbana or not Nibbana, all the same with everything. That's the true origin of all things, which doesn't have to be enlightened or not, as it already is. Let it be the true origin with the same essence. The true origin that doesn't have arahants or no arahants. They are not as it already is. That's the true origin. Doesn't have any status whatsoever. It's just assumed up as a status by the belief values with the concept that is in favor. It's actually assumed up, but it's not real, it's not intrinsic. This is just language terminology to call the arahants as such. No status, not considered as anything at all. Nibbana as well is not considered as Nibbana. The nature is not considered as any status, as anything, as enlightened or not. When there is meanings and opinions to be given, the status has been assumed up, but it's not intrinsic. It's just assumed up. It's not real. So the arahants is just the status that is assumed up temporarily. The essence is not about having or not having. It's not considered as any status at all. All these days, samsara is just favor the assumed up. That's why it becomes real. Let it be balanced. There is no need to try to refrain or not refrain, all the same. There is no need to try to attach or not attach, all the same. That's it. There is no need to try to end or not end. That's it. It will not become self-torture. The delusively practicing to refrain or not refrain is the acts of the suffering. So everything is already as it is. It is not a new thing that is assumed up. It is just a reflection that everything is already is as its nature. It is not a new assumed up. This is just a reflection for you to realize it. Just like anicca, dukkha, anatta, it's reflected that it's non-attached to itself as it is. This is not always having the idea about anicca, dukkha, anatta on and on, and then it's distorted. It is not something to be attached to. It's not something to be fixated upon. Therefore, it is unwinding, discarding the unwinding accordingly, not grasping for the non-grasping accordingly. That's it. It's ending right there. The word everything as well is not just taking the word everything to be recited. It is reflection that is the essence of the great compassion. There is no need to try to refrain or not refrain, all the same. This is balanced throughout with everything. all the same. Anatta is not fixated to itself. This is just a reflection, and then you just let it be bygone. It's called ending accordingly. This is not to contemplate and analyze on and on. That is grasping. There is no discarding that discards itself already. This is practicing, turning into meditation, vipassana or kamasthana. หลวงพ่อ called vipassana as vipassana. It is density in the rounds of emphasis on itself in such meditation. Grasping is not aligned. The reflection is that everything is not attached to itself. So let go of the let go itself right away. Not attached to the non-attachment itself right away. That's it. It's done. This is not to take it into thinking, to contemplate on. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta is not to be contemplated on. That is a reaction. Is non-attached to itself as it is. It is non-attached to itself as it already is. That's all. That's the reminders. Non-attached to itself as it is. That's all. This is the reminders that cut through itself. This is not to contemplate upon and analyze about it. That's why there are so many vipassana centers all over. This is vipassana, density of a reaction. So sticky with meditation, with whatever one's aim for. Letting go of every base of the body-mind, of every aggregate, then Nibbana is right there. The base is looking, seeing, knowing, body-mind. This is the base. Letting go of the base, then the enlightenment is there. With everything, there is no need to try to have to or not having to, expecting or not expecting, all the same. That's it. When there is no need to refrain or not refrain, let go or not letting go, is not becoming a meditation of vipassana or kamasthana. Otherwise, always competing to create samsara of realms of existence. The more practicing, the more cultivating, it turns into samsara of realms of existence endlessly. It has nothing to do with refraining or not refraining, with everything. No need to let go or not letting go, all the same. There is no need to try to attach or not attach, all the same. There is no need to try to put down or not putting down, all the same. Delusively putting down or not putting down is already complicated, totally troubling. Move on altogether without the need to refrain or not refrain, engaging or disengaging. It's not going to be a burden in practicing at all. This is called helping through ending altogether. It's not misleading others to practice like this, like that, because that is giving unending. Misleading others to practice this and that, it's just like giving unending to other people. How can they end? Because giving the unending, they're just practicing endlessly practicing. This is not even called blessing the beings forever. It's somehow the essence is just that. Because the word everything is guaranteed already, that is not separated anything from anything. It's not separated Nibbana from samsara. It's not separated anything from anything. The word everything is guaranteed as such. There is no such a thing as forever or not, because everything is guaranteed already. There is no discrimination with time at all. It's already as it is, forever as such. Without no need to refrain or not refrain, it will be all the same with everything, because everything doesn't have refraining or not refraining. Everything is in its nature as such. But when it's not the same, because trying to refrain or not refrain, but everything doesn't have refraining or not refraining. When you do refraining, it's not the same. Everything turns into differences. Trying to attach or not attach, but everything is not having anything as attachment or non-attachment. Therefore, it's differences. However, there is no need to try to refrain or not refrain, all the same. There is no need to try to attach or detach, all the same. There is no need to try to stop or not stop. There is no need to try to stop or not stop, all the same. There is no need to try to end or not to end. Thinking to end is not ending. This is always discriminating, imbalance. There is no need to try to finish or not finish, all the same. There is no need to try to engage or disengage, all the same. There is no need to try to let go or not letting go, all the same. These will not become obstacles with opinions and meanings. There's no flaw. Already mentioned, there is no Nibbana, there is no samsara. Because all these days, Nibbana that we are talking about is just the assumed language terminology, temporarily assumed up. But it doesn't have meanings as Nibbana or not Nibbana. It just assumed up language terminology. But when the assuming up turning into real, then it creates sides, the sides of Nibbana and the sides of non-Nibbana. This is conflicting. There is no such a thing as meaning of Nibbana or no Nibbana. It just assumed up language terminology. But when you are taking assuming up as real, it turns into samsara of the assumed up, samsara of the terminology. Already said the assumed up is not real. It just made up temporarily, assumed up temporarily. Everything instantly. There is no need to try to Nibbana or not Nibbana, all the same. There is no need to try to refrain or not refrain, all the same. There is no need to try to Nibbana or not Nibbana, all the same. That's it. The work, the task, in the way that is with karmic difficulties, just move on with it. But make a conclusion simultaneously so that there is no conflict with it. Trying to refrain, trying to let go is wrong, because you're trying to let go of that which doesn't grasp you already in its nature. Why trying to let go of it? It doesn't grasp anyone already in its nature. Trying to let go is the habits of rejection, a new rejection. Then it conflicts with the forms of all things. This kind of vow has to be erased totally. It has to be dissolved totally. Where are those who are aiming towards Nibbana going to? They're still in the samsara. They don't go anywhere. The Arahant still amidst samsara, still here. This is just thinking by oneself. The Arahant, the essence, is not about anything in being. For the Arahant, the forming up is just the form up. The Buddha land that is called is just the vows that is made up, which is the center of the vows of all the great perfection, the Mahaparami. The Buddha land has been made up by the vows to help samsara through the enlightenment. So the Buddha land is derived from the vows as such. So when there are a lot of vows like that, it's just coming together as a Buddha land. It is from the assumed up of the vows. So the Buddha land is also from the assumed up. So when we are balanced without having to refrain or not refrain all the same, where is the Buddha land? Everything, that's it. Otherwise, the form of the vows will be there as has been organized by itself. No need to try to refrain or not refrain all the same. It will be beyond the vows. The vows from the belief values. The values given to letting go or not letting go. Grasping or not grasping. Favoring in putting down, letting go, to cut off. This is the vows of the noble ones. And for the Arahants, there are no more vows. It's from favoring. Even to help end for the beings is also the great compassion that is in favor. It's a kind of that. It is subtle. It is not the great compassion that grasping for itself. It's assumed up vow, but it doesn't grasp for the vow itself. Everything. No need to try to let go or not let it go. There is no need to help end for anyone. The vows to help end for the beings or anyone, no need. Everything, there is no need to try to let go or not letting go, all the same. There is no need to try to refrain or not refrain, all the same. There is no need to end, to try to end or not ending, all the same. That's it. That is called beyond the vows. Even to help end for the beings is even the grasping, overlaying the vows. It is subtle. It is very fine, refined matter. Because it is still grasping for helping through ending. This is the Ajintai or the unknowable of all the great perfections. Unimaginable for all the beings, unthinkable for all the beings, and they don't dare to think like that either. So to go beyond the vows, all the vows, everything, use everything, all the same. There is no need to try to let go or not letting go with everything. This will be beyond the vows of blessing beings. Everything includes beings and non-beings. It will not become meanings of beings and non-beings. It will end such meanings. It will not become the cause of the suffering totally for all. Let's unlock the vows totally, everything, without the need to try to let go or not letting go. Unlock the vows, because the suffering comes from such vows. Not in the way of the Arahants, not in the way of the noble ones, not in the way of the commoners. Not in the way of Nibbana, not in the way of samsara. Everything. It will not become the cause of the suffering all the same. No need to try to refrain or not refrain all the same. It will not become the cause of the suffering all the same. No need to try to liberate or not liberate all the same. Therefore, it will not become the cause of the suffering all the same. No need to try to engage or disengage all the same. That's all. It's not much at all. If it's a lot, it will become vipassana. It will be dense. There is not much at all. Even a little bit is not left. There is no such teachers. Even a tiny bit, not even left as a status. Like this, it will end all burdens about liberation, also about the blessing. It will end the burdens about the blessing. No more burden in blessing. It will end the burden of liberation. There is no thinking more about having to liberate from anything or not liberate from anything. There is no need to try to liberate or not liberate all the same with everything. There is no need to try to attach or not attach all the same with everything. There is no need to try to let go or not letting go with everything all the same. This will end all the burden about trying to let go or not letting go, refraining or not refraining. Ending all burdens.